Rock stars. There's literally nothing like those wild parties. All I did was drink and party and go to rock concerts. So I got VIP access to a certain very hot rock star's room.
This was getting a little intense for my liking.
What's your problem?
Okay.
Look, bitch, I don't know who the fuck you think you are, but you're no better than the rest of us.
Hey, come on, you gotta go. I'll call you.
Hey, what would you say if I were to tell you that rock stars like Terry would pay for your attention and you would be a multi-millionaire because of it?
Hey everyone, it's your girl Catherine Nunez, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director and the Council on the IE Network.
Real Talk.
Hey, I'm Gina Lou, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hey, what's up? It's Logan Browning, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Real Talk.
Hi, this is Alana De La Garza, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, I'm Diane Franklin from Better Off Dead and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. You're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, this is Monique Capri, and you are watching Real Talk with the Director on Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, I'm Stormy Maya, and you are listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
It's Vicky Judy. Orange is the new black, and I'm here with Real Talk.
Yo, what up? This is Jay Ellis, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio. Keep it locked.
Hi, I'm Rita Parks, and you're listening to Real Talk Radio with the Director. Hey, I'm Issa Rae, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And nothing less. Hey, what's up? Welcome to another edition of Real Talk. The Director and the Jedi Council. I'm the Director. We'll be with you for the next 120 minutes or so. And Real Talk is brought to you each and every Monday by B2S Media. We broadcast live via the World Wide Web on where do we broadcast? No, I'm joking. We broadcast live via the World Wide Web on youtube.com/IE Network TV and the social media, aka Facebook, aka Meta, and of course the now not to be owned by the Tesla man, Twitter. So thanks. Coming to you live for the first time, from Atlanta, Georgia. First of many. Still getting settled in here. That's why I'm not on camera yet. I don't really have my studio set up yet. I just didn't want to miss the podcast and miss with you guys. So thanks again. So we had the San Diego Comic-Con. It's come and gone, and it was a doozy. You know, it was good. Like, it was good to have everybody back. And I don't know if this is the first time since the pandemic, but like where everyone was there, but not sure. But either way, it was good to see the panels and so forth. So you had the Warner Brothers DC panel. Wasn't a lot, but they did do something. We thought they weren't going to do anything at all. And of course, the Marvel panel, the Marvel Cinematic Universe panel, which was really a lot more than I thought they were going to give us. So Kevin Feige just went out there, and once again, they shined. They outdid everyone there. And once again, letting everyone know why they are Marvel and you are not. Letting everybody know, letting everyone want to say that beautiful phrase, make mine Marvel. So we'll jump into that. Also, we still have our tournament that we started last time. We didn't start it yet. We just laid out all the rules to it, and we also now we got to do a little bit of the seeding. We'll talk a little bit about that, but mostly we'll recap the Comic Con. Talk a little about Black Panther: Wakanda Forever trailer has dropped, and boy, has it was heavy. It was heavy, and I believe once again, Ryan Coogler is going to deliver another masterpiece. And I want to break down. We're going to go through some shots of the trailer and break down some things that we think may or may not be happening. But what I also want to do is share with you why I feel that not recasting T'Challa was the right decision. And the reason why I'm going to say that, I'll go into detail. And I don't mean ever. I mean recasting him for this film or right now. It was the right decision. And I'll tell you why. We'll go into the weekend recap real quick. Brought to you by BoxOfficeMojo.com. And number 5, Top Gun Maverick is still holding on. In the movies, they made $10.3 million. Where the Crawdads Sing, $10.4 million. That's number 4. Minions: The Rise of Gru, $18 million. Thor: Love and Thunder still out there. I think because of the Comic Con and everything, of course, people gonna still go out and see Thor. Is still going strong. Made $22.6 million, which brings the lifetime worldwide gross just under $600 million at $598. And of course, number 1 this week was Nope. Nope, the movie. That's the new Jordan Peele movie, a horror film, mystery, sci-fi. Opens with $44 million over the weekend. Opened in 3,700 theaters, $44 million so far. And that is your weekend recap. And brought to you by BoxOfficeMojo.com. Cool. Shout out to the chat room. Joseph Tanner, what's up, my dude? We missed you last time. You were not with us last time. We was like, hey, that's a little strange. I think that might have been the first time you ever missed the show. Hope everything's all right with you, buddy. Anyone else who jumps into the chat room, shout out to you. We appreciate you. So we'll go from there. So I'm gonna bring in my Jedi Council. Right now we have one on deck. Ralph, you in the building. What up, brother?
What's up, everybody? How you doing? How's everybody going today in this hot summer day?
Yeah, I know. Heat wave going on. And Kev just joined us as well. Thank you for coming back. Kev, welcome back.
What's going on, fellas?
Good, man. All you guys, he just mentioned the heat wave. We got this heat wave going across the entire world, not just the country.
I wouldn't know nothing about that because when I come outside, I leave AC to get in my car that has automatic start, and my AC is on when I get in my car.
Yeah.
When I get to the office and get out of my car, I walk into AC. So
I hear you. I just installed. I just had right before I left Florida, and as you know, now I am now in Atlanta, Georgia, broadcasting for the first time from Atlanta. Yes, right before I left Florida, I had one of those installed, the automatic starter or the remote starter, I should say.
Oh, remote start, yeah.
Yeah, the remote starter into the car, and it does wonders because you're able to have your car cool down. And then now that I am in a state now that has seasons, other than like Florida did, now that I'm back to having seasons again, I'm gonna need it when it gets a little cold. I can keep warm my car up.
Yeah,
So
the only downside to having a remote start is that, and again, this is first world problems, but my heated seats don't work. You have to physically turn it on.
oh my God! Oh, you're bougie now.
Yeah,
that's bougie problems. Oh, it won't turn off.
Bougie problems.
You have to physically use your arm and turn it on.
Exactly. But the heated steering wheel turns on though. For
That's
remote
what's up. So, getting right to it, man. San Diego Comic-Con this year. I'm not sure. I believe it's the first time it was back, like where they were all like people were there.
You know something? I'll be honest, I didn't even know it was going on this weekend. So I saw it on Twitter. I was like, "The Comic-Con is this week?"
Yeah, man. It was good. I mean, it wasn't super like it wasn't obviously the best one, and but everyone was excited to be back outside basically and back over there. Hall H was really, the Marvel, as we said, the Marvel panel was, extra special because they did drop the trailer for Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and Ryan Coogler showed up and he bought almost all of his cast except Angela Bassett, like as far as the main characters or main cast. Only person who didn't, was not there was Angela Bassett, but almost all the other main characters was there. And it was emotional. It was exciting. It was just everything.
It's a good thing she wasn't there because that would have just, if she was there, the whole place would have cried if she would have showed up.
Yeah, the whole place would have just went into tears. The trailer itself is just so well put together, from every shot to the song that they picked. They used the Bob Marley song, but it was someone else singing it, and then they kind of mashed it together with Kendrick Lamar's "All Right." We gonna be all right. So it was just very, very powerful the way they did it. And to all of the naysayers that were, and I have to address this, there was a lot of people out there finding reasons to throw rocks at this project before they even saw any one clip of it. Because, of course, we know we lost the great Chadwick Boseman. And so Kevin Feige made it very clear that they were not, and so did Ryan Coogler, they made it very clear that they were not recasting T'Challa for this movie. What people fail to realize is they said they're not recasting T'Challa for this movie. Everyone just wanted to run with it and say that they're never, ever going to recast T'Challa. They never said that because as you know, Kevin Feige never says never. Right? That's number one. When everyone thought that it seemed like they would never get the mutants or the X-Men into the MCU. Guess what happened? Now they have them. Right? So, with that being said, I have so many people that I've encountered on Facebook and certain groups. It's, and everyone's entitled to their opinion, but it's like they're so upset about, they're trying to kill off our heroes and keep, where they should recast T'Challa, they recast Batman, they recast Superman, they recast blah, blah, and it's just like, it's just conspiracy that they don't want to recast T'Challa because they made such a big impact and, one of the biggest grossing films, blah, 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 blah. But the bottom line is this film could be biggest grossing as well if you come out and watch it. Like, and the bottom line is, it became one of the biggest grossing films because
Everybody
people
showed
supported
up.
it. People showed
Because-
up.
Let's keep it. No. Let's keep it a buck. The reason why this was the Black Panther was the biggest movie, grossing movie, one of the, is because everybody showed up. Everybody got up off their butts and showed up.
Yeah.
Even from us here in America to Saudi Arabia, where they don't even show films.
Mm-hmm.
Black Panther was the first film shown in Saudi Arabia, and I don't know how long.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Because of its inclusivity, and because that's what blackness does. That's what brownness does. And if we can show up like that for a movie, imagine how much else stuff we can get done. But I digress.
Right. So, but what happens is now, on a sadder or badder, worse note, is we as a people, we get caught up in the wrong things sometimes, and then we start, for someone, bless you, for someone to take shots at Ryan Coogler, of all people, the man who bought us the Black Panther movie, who brought the vision to life and actually envisioned how it should go. People to take shots at him because they say, "Oh, he's part of the reason why they didn't recast T'Challa, because he in his feelings." And like, people, let's get this straight. I'm gonna just end this crap right here. First of all, let's not forget, people. Let's not be. I know it's our nature to be selfish, but let's not be too selfish. You talk, these filmmakers and these actors and these directors, whatever. They were also friends with Chadwick Boseman, and just because we may have had enough, we're ready to move on. And I say we, not including me, but I'm just saying, of course, you have to move on, right? Just because doesn't mean that they felt that he was not properly, he wasn't properly honored, right? And they felt this is the best way they could properly honor him and his memory and his dream and all of that stuff, by honoring him through art, which is what his passion was. So they never got a chance to officially say that, other than people getting statements here, and everybody's always looking for social media. See, that's the funny thing. They stayed off of social media. They all stayed off social media, and they just got the job done.
And West, for that reason, and I'm not knocking that. That is the best thing you can do, is stay off social media. But because of that, that is the reason why everybody else is in their feelings about why things are going the way they're going, because there was no statement of, and actually there was, if you were paying attention.
Yeah, there were statements, but that's all they got.
But people weren't showered in their grief. We as a public, they didn't give the public the satisfaction of swimming in their grief. Oh, he's so hurt. Oh, we feel so bad for Chad. We feel so bad for Ryan, Angela, and the rest of the cast. They didn't give us that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Said their goodbyes, and then they put their energy into doing what that man would have done. Okay, that Negro is dead. We still got a full film to make, and we still have to respect and honor him while we do it. That is the same exact thing Chadwick would have done. Like, okay, they're gone, but how do we continue to do this and honor them at the same time?
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
unfortunately, I'm going to include myself in this, and just because I have to say we as humans outside of the acting circles are too stupid to allow people to grieve in their own way. Who are you to tell somebody when it's their time to stop grieving and to move on? You don't do that.
Yeah.
This is the reason why when you cheat on your spouse, that your spouse cannot forgive you right away, is because they're still processing what you did. And in
Yeah.
time, they probably will forgive you and stay with you. But when you stay on a person's butt, you're not going to get what you want. Give these people give these people their space. Allow them to breathe. Allow them to grieve and do what they need to do so that we can get what the best product that they can give us. Because guess what? If they gave us some bullshit, y'all be all over them.
Yep.
And the sad part is, as much as crap as people are talking, guess who's going to show up at the theater? The same one running their mouth.
Yep.
And then you know what you should do? You should screenshot all of their bullshit. and then when the praises go up for what this movie is, remind them of what they said. Oh, but this was you a couple of months ago. Oh wait, I'm sorry, but we're children of God. We're not supposed to go back on what you did in the past. Let's not live like Twitter. I'm sorry. I take that statement back. Sure.
Why? Look, you know what this reminds me of? Any of you ever seen Jay in Hollywood Strikes Back?
Yeah.
Remember when they saw how people were talking smack about them all online when they got their money? It was like, you know what? We can go buy a whole lot of plane tickets. They went to everybody's house that was talking smack about them and beat their ass. That's what happened.
I know, and it's like I said, it's a shame that it has to be that way, with people. So let's just real quick talk about it again. So the trailer really kind of drops in it, and it starts with them. We know that it shows, it kind of answers questions, but doesn't answer too many questions, which is great for a teaser. It sets up, T'Challa, and showing that T'Challa, they confirm what we already knew, that T'Challa is gone. They haven't told us or showed us why or how, that they're gonna kill the character. Obviously we know why, but they never showed the character yet, right? Or how they kill the character. They look like they honored him nicely as a character and as an actor. And obviously, honoring the character is the same as honoring the actor, pretty much. And so you got those shots there. Let me see if I was trying to show. I don't know where the heck my. I'll bring that up again. But anyway, so but it had a nice beat to it, because it started off very almost like memorial type style. Then it starts to pick up. The pace picks up, the action picks up, and then it builds. They took a teaser and kind of followed the 3-act structure with a teaser, because it kind of they got opportunity to show certain things in the beginning. They introduced new characters. They showed conflict. There was building, rising action. There was a climax and a resolution, pretty much from beginning to end of that trailer, which is pretty much the overall blueprint of the 3-act structure when you're writing films, right? So I just thought that was pretty amazing how they did that in just a teaser. At the end, of course, there is a one shot of of a Black Panther, someone we don't know who it is yet. They didn't want to reveal that. It does look to be a female, but it's just from the body frame. Could be any one of them, for all we know.
It's an
Yeah.
Atlantic. I just want to pause on that part because I want to dispel a lot of the rumors. That is not Nakia. That if you look at that shot and you see her rubbing her stomach, if you look beyond her body towards the background, you see the same underwater lighting as in the next shot.
Oh, you talking about the baby being born thing?
No, before the baby's born, when she's rubbing
The
her
pregnant
stomach.
person. Yeah, that was the same person. That was Namor's mother.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That
just
was
wanna make
that.
that
Yeah,
clear, 'cause
yeah. A
there
lot
are
of people. There's a lot of people that did reactions, and they're like, "Oh my God, is that Nakia? Is she pregnant?" Now, granted, if first of all, if she was
If she
pregnant
was, they would
with
hold on to
T'Challa,
that.
they would not. Yeah, they would
would
not
hold on to
reveal that. They would not reveal that. If she was pregnant, which is also possible, if she was pregnant with T'Challa's child, they would not have revealed that. That's number one. Number two, if you just like Kevin just said, if you follow the shot right after they showed the woman rubbing her stomach, they showed the actual birth of the child, and it's the same background lighting, same atmosphere, same exact location, and that was underwater. It wasn't like it was just a water birth. They were underwater. They were submerged underwater. And then when he pulled the baby up, you saw the two little wings on the baby's feet, which tells you right there that is obviously Namor, the Submariner. So
Yeah, and the only reason why I wanted to make that point clear, Wes, because also if they look in the background, they could see the same bamboo that's in the other scene. So I don't
yeah,
understand how people are confusing that, like, and just jumping straight to, oh, that's the key. That's T'Challa's love child.
yeah, people just straight jumping the gun. It's just it's ridiculous, and it's like don't do that. Like, so just going through. So here's some of the shots going through here. That was a great. I mean, first of all, it was beautiful shots in this trailer. Here's a beautiful one of the opening shots is Nakia standing by the ocean, and there's looks like a pyramid, like a temple or pyramid over there. On the side there. Now, some people, were saying they feel that Nakia might wear the Panther outfit. It's at this point anything's possible, but I'm just gonna say this. I'm not gonna go and argue everybody down and say it's this person, it's that person. All I'm gonna say is this: Ryan Coogler is someone who really likes to stay as true as he can to the comics and be comic accurate, but at the same time tell a full story that everyone can relate to. Now, if they put anyone other than Shuri in the Black Panther outfit, it was strictly just to be to throw people off for whatever reason. And I don't think those are the type of decisions you should make when you're doing a film. I don't think you should make decisions based on strictly, oh, they're gonna guess it, so we're gonna do this. I mean, look at the scene from The Walking Dead. Did they not kill Glenn like he was killed in the comic? Even though people, they hinted at it. Sometimes they threw you off. They threw you off on how they did it, but eventually they did it, right? There was like, oh, you thought because he killed somebody else that he wasn't going to kill Glenn, But yes, he ends up killing Glenn. Exactly how Negan killed Glenn in the comic books, right?
Exactly.
Right. So that and The Walking Dead does that a lot too. They'll change certain things. Certain things. They'll make subtle changes because you don't want people who know the comic to guess everything. But some things are just so uh, important that it may not be worth just to throw a few people, just so you could say those few people that read the comic, ho, you were wrong. Just so you could say that. That's not a reason to do that type of stuff.
And it's stupid when you work so hard to kind of sort of stay as accurate to the comics as you can,
Yeah.
just to do something stupid like that. It just doesn't make sense. And also with what you said, just to piggyback off of that, you have to look at the line of succession, how things happen. Look at how Black Panther was introduced. Go back and remember that. Black Panther was introduced. Why? Because of the death of King T'Chaka. King T'Chaka died in a bombing. So because A, that was his dad, and B, because his dad was Black Panther, and because he was the prince, he had to step up and take on that mantle. But he did by code, he did end up having to do a ritual battle to fight to keep the mantle of Black Panther.
Yeah.
So in this same instance, you got to think, okay, Shuri is, and we don't know how it's going to be shown in the movie, on how they're going to show, on how they're going to show death. So
no, I agree. We don't know how they're going to show it, because they've already said that they're not doing CGI. The only way they can actually show a death is if he's in the Panther suit when he dies, if they want to show it. We're not sure how they're going to do it. They may not show it at all, because at this point, everyone knows what really happened with the actors. So to be honest with you, they could get away with not showing us how to they'll have to say it through dialogue, if nothing else. But if they didn't show it, which I believe they will show something, but if they didn't show it, I don't think that would kill the movie, because everybody knows what really happened anyway. So
I don't think they did. I think they probably, if they were to show his death in some kind of way, it'd be fast. But I think it would be like through something that was on the cutting floor from the first movie.
Could be. It could be from stock footage that they've had, because they do have other footage. Could be something, like I said, maybe showing him, because remember what he said was they're not CGIing him. Doesn't mean they're not going to use archive footage of him. Using archive footage of him is not CGI, and they said they just said they're not going to do any CGI to show T'Challa, or if Chadwick as T'Challa, but they never said they wouldn't use archive footage or Stark footage, just like they did in Superman 2, where they used a lot of Jor-El, Marlon Brando stuff that they didn't use in the first film. So it's very possible that they could use that stuff. And I tell you, as we know, nothing surprised me with Chadwick, man. So it may be stuff that they got, like you said, that might have been left on the cutting room floor that they could use a fight, a battle, or something like that, and they can show. We don't know. So that's that. Now moving on to, like I said, in this film, I'm going through some of the shots here. So here we see, I don't know what this is. This is something burning on fire, some house. It to me, I don't know if it's Namor's father's house. So Namor has a very similar origin to Aquaman. Like he's half Atlantean and half human. That's why when you see him, he's a regular color, and the Atlanteans that've been under this water all this time, they're a bluish color. All right. Um, comic accurate as well. Once again, that's comic accurate on the part of Brian Coogler. So here he is as an adult. So you see him as a baby there. You see the little wings on his feet. This is just another, and then you see him as a child here, and then here is the adult version of him. Here's another picture of him. You see the wings on his feet. Once again, that's comic accurate. The way he looks. Now, the only thing that isn't comic accurate, now, once you said, they make subtle changes. So how he's dressed is not comic accurate. He doesn't have like that Aztec look, and like they that's a different twist that they added to his origin, right? So once again, there's the twists and turns that you'll make to kind of bend the story to make it acceptable by all, but at the same time, they're not going to completely abandon the comic stuff. So here's a shot of Riri Williams, aka Ironheart, who is the MIT genius student that pretty much follows Tony Stark's tech. Right? So she's hammering out the heart part for her Ironheart suit. Here she is again, meeting with Shuri. Now, me and Kev, we talked about this offline. Because of the high tech look of the lab, you may think that this might be Shuri's lab at Wakanda, or maybe it's Riri's lab at Wakanda if she was to come work for them or whatever like that. Only thing that the one thing Kev thought that it's probably MIT because they did shoot stuff at MIT. We know that for a fact. Number two, what made me kind of believe that this is not Wakanda is right here. This person right here. You see that long curly hair? There's not people like that in Wakanda. So that's the thing that makes me believe that it's not Wakanda, that it could be just a very high tech. It's either Riri's lab, wherever it is, either at MIT or her own thing. Maybe it's at Stark Enterprises. Who knows?
Well, I can definitely say that that's at MIT because one of the one reason why I'm almost confident that it's MIT is one because of the shooting schedule of where they shot. They shot a scene at MIT.
Right. They definitely shot a scene at MIT. Yeah.
That action sequence happens at MIT. So that lab, they have to be there. They can't be anywhere else. And if Riri Williams is in the scene, Riri Williams goes to MIT.
Right.
Above and beyond all of that, the reason why that lab looks the way it looks, if you remember, back in Iron Man,
War. I think it was Civil War.
Yeah, it was Civil War.
Captain America Civil War when Iron Man he gave so much money to the program.
He said all of your projects are funded.
Yeah.
Meaning everybody at MIT. And he was already a huge donor to MIT as it was because he graduated from MIT.
Right.
So he was already a donor to MIT. So it would make sense.
Yeah.
That he would, that they would be working with the best lab that they can work and have the most cutting-edge technology in their lab.
I agree, and that's what really sold me there. And once again, we go back to the shot of the.
Wait a minute, hold it. That lab looks like the same lab from the first movie.
Nah.
I'm looking at it. It looks like the same lab from the first movie.
What first movie?
From Black Panther.
The Black Panther movie. It looks like the exact same lab.
No, it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't.
The lighting,
I'm looking at it right this second.
Mm-hmm. What are you looking at? What exactly
The
are you
part of
looking
Black
at?
Panther where she's giving. I'm looking at the layout of the lab compared to that picture you just showed compared to the first one, right? Which I'm looking at right this second. It looks almost exactly the same.
Well, things are going to kind of sort of look the same because you're going to repurpose stuff for the set that you're using, but it doesn't have to necessarily.
Not that. I mean, no, that's not what I'm saying. No. When you guys saying, "Well, this isn't Wakanda," I mean, I'm.
Well, I said that I don't think it is because what sold it for me was this person. Who is this? Wakanda don't have anybody in their labs that look like this.
There are no Europeans in Wakanda at all.
So that's what threw.
But remember the very end. But remember the very end of Wakanda. He says we are going to open our country up to everyone. So perhaps
but that meant no. He said that meaning we're going to share our technologies. We're not going to invite you into our country, but we're going to share vibranium, and we're going to share some of our.
But why? I mean, I'm not going to say that that's not possible either. I'm just saying that, like I said, I feel that this could be not Shuri's lab, because why is she there? Because like Shuri walks in, unless she's visiting Wakanda, because Riri Williams is not going to have a big role in this film, because she got her own show coming. You know, Ironheart, the show is going to be on Disney Plus.
And here's the thing: this is Riri Williams' origin story. This is a part of her origin story. So why would she be in Wakanda?
I don't know. Like I said, unless she's just visiting.
Maybe exactly. Maybe Stark after his death. Maybe they sent out. And honestly, I think that's the reason why I don't think that it is Shuri, because of that. Because if she's the brain,
what are you talking about? That it is Shuri. Wait. What did you say?
No, he's talking about that
the Black Panther. Why I don't think she's the Black Panther movie. Because I started thinking about this after I said it yesterday, right? And I was using like a real world analogy. Is that if she is the tech brains of Wakanda, do you really want the person that creates and designs all your tech to be the not so much the leader,
protector?
Right? Because
you gotta remember she's also next in line for the mantle. So whether she's the tech or not, she's next in line.
I understand, but this is what I was thinking. Listen to a second. Think about the idea with Tony Stark as he is Iron Man, right? Now, you guys are much more versed in the comics than I am, but I'm kidding with the movie. So I'm saying all the tech in the Iron Man movies comes out of his mind, right? It doesn't come from other people within his organization. So now Tony Stark is gone, all right? So that means theoretically that all this advanced technology that he himself created and used for Iron Man Defender of the World is now gone, and there isn't anybody to step up in his place unless it's Pepper.
You're looking at it.
Back up.
Wait. Hold. Before you interject,
because what you're saying is not 100% correct. Because in Iron Man 2, Whiplash was able.
Yeah, there's other people that will follow his work that can also that's worked on them. Just like you take Iron Man 2, let's take Spider-Man. Remember all of those people with Mysterio, you know, all those people that was working for Stark, they all were able to manipulate, control his tech because they work for him, so they know how the tech works too. So, and then you're looking at this person right here, Riri Williams, who's going to follow his.
Riri is
Riri Williams is actually going to create her own Ironheart.
Yeah, that's why she's called Ironheart. She's going to create her own Iron Man suit.
But what I'm saying is that Riri, it comes after Tony Stark, not while Tony is there. She comes after him.
No,
right?
Right. Yes. So
Okay,
all right. So let make your point then.
All right, so
What
I
is
was
your
thinking
point?
about this last night, and I was walking out. I was walking out my job last night, and someone was talking to them on their Apple Watch, and it made me think about like Apple, right? And this is where I'm not 1,000% sure, so I'm just guessing. Steve Jobs really, I think most people think that he was the tech brain behind Apple.
No, he
right?
wasn't. He was the idea guy.
The idea guy. Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to ask this question. Since his passing, what has Apple actually produced that didn't come from the mind of Steve Jobs?
Oh, a whole lot of stuff.
Like what?
The Apple Watch.
That comes from Steve Jobs.
I mean,
the iPad.
Well, what they're doing is they're just taking his his whatever idea mind, and they're just making it better or whatever, putting more stuff to it.
Yeah, but see that's where I was going with that. If he was the one that came up with the idea to have the Apple Watch, for example.
Wait, let him finish.
If he was the one, what I'm sitting there saying, he was the one that came up with that idea. So all the products that Apple currently has out come from the minds of Steve Jobs. But
you can't say that because the people at Samsung had a watch at the same time.
But you're missing the point. What I'm sitting here saying.
So you haven't gotten to your point yet
because I keep trying to say it, and I said let me.
Okay,
finish.
Go ahead. Say it.
What I'm sitting there saying is this: if Siri is supposed to be the next Black Panther, and she is the mind of Wakanda, she's a tech mind. Would you really want the tech person that runs all your tech to now all of a sudden be the protector? Because in case the person dies, there's nobody. Now you losing the leader, and you're losing the tech mind.
Nah, that's not. That's not really. That's no reason to not want her. I mean, for number one, she did it. It actually happened anyway. There's a story that follows that, as we all know, in the comic books. Once she took on the mantle, technically, once you take on, the lead, you become the leader of Wakanda. You are supposed to take on the mantle of the Black Panther. So whether you're the tech person or not, you just got upgraded. You've just been promoted. And just like there's people that can, just because she may be the mind behind it, but there's people that work in her lab. Like I said, who knows? We don't know what role Riri is going to play. Maybe Riri could be the person, because she don't have to be in Wakanda to produce for Wakanda. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point. And I'm gonna say this. I'm going with this theory, but not knowing who that Black person is.
Riri Williams is not even from Wakanda. So
no, she's not from Wakanda. What I'm saying is, only reason what I was saying about mention that is she could very well, if they needed a tech person, let's just say Shuri takes on the mantle. She's now the Black Panther. Okay, she can't be Black. Well, she could still be Black Panther and still create the tech. There's no reason why she can't. But someone who's, you're saying like you need a tech person there in the lab all the time. Well, maybe they can outsource it to Riri, who will be doing it from her own lab. You know what I mean? So just to your point, Ralph, I understand where you're coming from, but like I said before, I think it's to not put her in the suit, at least put her in the suit at some point, even if she doesn't stay Black Panther, because just like Kevin brought up earlier, someone could challenge her. Maybe Nakia challenges her. Who knows? I'm just saying, someone could challenge her, and she has to fight them without Black Panther powers, right? To stay on it. But my point is this: to not put her in it just to say, "Oh, fooled you," that's no reason to not follow the story, which was a good story that was set forth before that, in the comic books or whatever, and it works perfectly with what they're doing. Furthermore, I've been watching some interviews, right? So interviews at Comic-Con where they interviewed her, Leticia Wright, and actually her interview was crashed by Winston Duke, right? And they talk about some things, and Winston Duke makes a comment that really had me thinking. Maybe by the end of the film, the Black Panther mantle is given to M'Baku because he is fit to be a protector of Wakanda. That's what the Black Panther is. But also he makes a statement in their interview about how him and her got a chance to honor Chadwick together or something like that. He says something that really made me think, And then turn out for it to the guy who plays Namor also made a comment in his interview. He said one of the highlights of the film was when he got to shoot a scene with Shuri, with Leticia. Now I can't imagine what scene would be a highlight with him just shooting a scene with Shuri as the tech person with those two gauntlets on, whatever. He had a scene with her, he said, that was a highlight of his experience, right? I'm believing that scene is her as the Black Panther. I'm just reading into it, but he did say that. He said, I loved shooting the scene that I got to shoot with her. Right? So the bottom line is Shuri is definitely, Leticia definitely, and just look at, if you really just go back and watch those, look at her demeanor, her manner. Like she's really it seems like it's heavier on her than everyone else because she knows the burden, not burden, but the shoes, the responsibility, thank you, that she has taken upon. And she really, in her face, everything, and the way she acts, the way she's just looking, she looks like she has a heavy heart.
It's not that she has a heavy heart. I'm gonna tell you what it is. It's that she has had to, as we were going back to what we were talking about earlier, she has had to sit down and perform. She had to sit down through a pandemic. On top of how she felt about the pandemic, still come, honor this man, then have to take on the of who he is and carry that. Now she has the weight of wondering, what is the world going to say about me and my performance? Like as much as we like to say, even for myself, as much as we like to say how much social media doesn't affect us, it affects us.
Right.
Every last one of us. Every last one of us affects us. And I guarantee you that woman is tossing and turning because she has until November to wonder, what is the world going to think of me after this? Did I do the right thing? Did I honor him well?
Right.
And
well, which she's gonna catch. She's gonna catch it because people tend to, and this is what I don't like when people do this. People tend to look at the person or the actor or whatever, and then their personal or what they do in their personal life, and then it reflects on their performance in the eyes of that person. And I don't like when people do that, because the fact of the matter is there's a lot of if the way I feel, I don't speak for myself. If I was going to judge an actor by their personal life, I won't watch any films.
A lot of people like, no.
A lot of people are scumbags. A lot of people do this, they do that. Once again, I learned to separate the art from the artist, and a lot of people, she caught a lot of flack with the whole thing, when not wanting to take the the vaccine and stuff like that, and she caught a lot of negative press behind that, which turned a lot of people against her. Period. Yeah, you had people that I think they even once again these people with these petitions, they need to just stop with that. I think there was a petition to recast her as Shuri because of that whole situation that happened. Bottom line is this: she's going to catch flack regardless. So if she does awesome as Black Panther, she's going to catch. Same thing happened to Brie Larson, where people were not. Same thing happened. People were not feeling Brie Larson for some things that she said as Brie Larson, the person. So it reflected on how people were reacting to her as Captain Marvel, right? Which I believe to me is ridiculous. I mean, hey, I can't stand some of the personal things that Charlize Theron does, but I love her acting in her films. So her personal life ain't for me to judge, but she could keep that. I could care. I don't want to even hear about it because I don't like what she does in her personal life. But as an actress, as an actor, as a performer, she is phenomenal. Period. And that and no one can take that away from her. So this is the problem and I think all of that weighs on her. Letitia Wright, we're back to when it comes to playing Shuri. Now, because everyone, like I said, a lot of people were, recast her. Oh, she don't want to. So, all of this stuff, right? And that's just her personal opinion as Letitia Wright. Has nothing to do with Shuri. Has nothing to do with Black Panther, the film, or anything else. I'm sure on that cast there are a dozen people or more that feel, there's a lot of people that feel one way about the vaccine, another way about the vaccine. That has nothing to do with this film. Nothing. The only thing that people were saying was, now some people were saying, oh, well, if she's going to hold up the film, then get rid of her. Of course, but she's not going to hold the film because they're not going to let her hold the film hostage. They would not let her do that. So, and back to my final point on Shuri being the Black Panther. It needs to happen, even if it's just for a portion of the film. Number 2 point is Ryan Coogler has always, and I repeat, he has always thought about bringing the Shuri storyline to Black Panther to the screen, just not this early. He didn't plan on doing it in the second film. Obviously, right. Obviously, no one knew that Chadwick was not going to be with us, but he would have brought it in probably by the third film. Right, because it's a story that's very well known. It's a story that was done. It was a popular story. When T'Challa gets injured, he's put into a coma, and Shuri is forced. She doesn't want to, but she's forced to take on the mantle. And as you said, Ralph, she still was the tech mind of Wakanda. But she had a new responsibility to the throne and to Wakanda as the protector. So she does become the Black Panther. And it's a short run, written, I thought, brilliantly written by Reginald Hudlin, who he did that run. And another, for my own selfish reasons, that's another selfish reason of mine that I hope they do that storyline, because Reggie Hudlin should get some props. I think that would be nice. And he's already tied to the other Black Panther. Remember they had the Black Panther thing on like MTV or something like that, or whatever it was. It was like a Black Panther. It was almost like a motion comic. It wasn't like a real animated show, but it was like a motion comic, and he was involved in that. But I think Reggie Hudlin should, get some shine, his storyline. And I think it makes the most sense from everyone, from these established characters. Nakia is not even really a warrior like that. Not that Shuri is a warrior, but Nakia is not really a warrior like that. She is a spy, you know. Um,
But
Second of all,
wait, let's make something clear. She's not a protector like that. She is a spy, but she is very almost equally as skilled as T'Challa is in hand-to-hand combat, or as members of the Adore Balage are. She is skilled in hand-to-hand combat.
no, she got skilled. But once again, as far as it making sense, unless she's not part of the royal family.
Right.
You know what I mean? It has to be so. You have to have the royal family blood running through your veins. That's why, what you call it, was able to, become the king too. Or he became because he beat T'Challa, but Killmonger. But he was part of the family though.
But outsiders can.
Outsiders can, because M'Baku did challenge. He could challenge. He's not.
But you're still Wakanda though. That's the thing.
Huh?
You can still be Wakandan.
Yeah.
You either have to be of blood. You have to be of blood, or you have to be of Wakandan blood.
Wakandan blood. Yeah. It's like, as long as you're Wakandan blood, you can do it. So, like I said, it only makes the most sense. You look at this. Look at this arm. This is definitely a female. Some people saying, "I believe it's Killmonger." That is not Killmonger.
No, it ain't Killmonger.
This arm, Michael B. Jordan don't have anything.
That leg is not him.
Right, exactly. Michael B. Jordan ain't got nothing this small. just no arm, no leg, nothing. So the legs here, this is clearly a female. Right? Now, who it is, I still think regardless, I think they just do this to because sometimes they do things to just let people speculate. I still think at the end of the day, it's Shuri. Will she be the Black Panther at the end of the movie? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if she isn't. I think based on that interview that I saw, somehow or another, she may relinquish the mantle to M'Baku somewhere along the line by the end of the movie. That's just a pure guess. But I'm just speculating based on some things that I saw over the weekend. And I believe this is her based on her reactions, her responses, the responses that the guy who plays Namor said, and the responses that Winston Duke said. I believe everyone's kind of like gravitating towards her too, almost as if she's the new center of this cast. You know what I'm saying? But she is very shying away from it. You could tell. She don't even really want to answer questions. Like she answering them, of course. And she's just kind of trying to be general and always saying, I want to honor Big Brother. That's all she always says. Right? And she seems to be that one. So, like I said, we'll see how it goes. I believe that this is going to be, and my other point before we move on to other stuff, I believe, and I said this at the top of the show, I believe not recasting T'Challa right now was the best move to do. And I'll tell you why. For the reasons that us as a people, let's be honest with ourselves. Any man, I don't care if it was Denzel Washington, who's considered one of the best actors in the business, not only the best black actor, one of the best actors in the business. If it was Denzel Washington,
it was Idris.
I don't care who it is, right? And he stepped into, whoever steps into T'Challa's role right now will only be compared to Chadwick Boseman, and they will not get a fair shake as this character.
Nope.
They will not get a fair shake as this character. We need a detox. We need a break from the character so we can want it back more. So when they finally recast the character, we'll be more accepted of the person that they recast because we'll just be happy to have the character back.
Listen,
right now it's too soon. It's too soon right now.
Exactly what
I see.
exactly,
I don't agree
exactly
with
what
that. I don't
Wes
agree with
is
that.
It's too
exactly
soon, Ralph.
exactly what Wes is saying is the reason why we are not getting any X-Men characters.
X-Men. Thank you. That was my next point I was going to make. Kevin Feige said after the X-Men got under the MCU banner, right? What was the first thing Kevin Feige did that people to people's dislike? He said to us, "We are not getting an X-Men movie for at least 5 years."
5.
You know why? At least 5. You know why we're not getting an X-Men movie within at least 5 years? Because he wants us to forget, to let go of the X-Men people, the actors that have we always known to play these X-Men characters. If someone else other than Hugh Jackman stepped on the screen as Wolverine, no one, I don't care how good of a job he does, he would not be accepted.
Nope.
Sometimes you have to reset your mind and build up a want and a need for a particular thing before you give it back to us. That's why Kevin Feige is who he is. He's very smart. He knows how this works. He's not going to give us X-Men right away. Why? Because we did it too. We're all guilty of it. We've done it on shows, live on our shows. Oh, Hugh Jackman should play Wolverine. Oh, they should bring Patrick Stewart back. Oh, they should do this. Oh, they should do that. But guess what? They don't want to do none of that. The only reason why Patrick Stewart was put in the Multiverse of Madness was straight fan service. That was Kevin Feige saying, "Shut up. Here he is. Now shut up. We're going to recast him."
Now, and with that said, in another interview, somebody asked Kevin Feige, being a smart ass, at the end of the interview, they said, "Oh, so we're not going to get X-Men. We're not going to get any X-Men until Phase 10." And he looked at them like they were stupid. He said, "Phase 10." He said, "Do you know how long each phase it takes to do each phase, even with how we're doing things now?" He's like, "No, we will get them way before.
Way before that. They're probably going to be in Phase 6. Or it may be even because they went past, they put everything in Phase 5 already. They already put the
But here's the thing. They showed us Phase 5, but we don't know what's going to be in the shows and the movies for Phase 5. We don't know.
Might just pop up.
What's going exactly. So and here's why.
No, I'm sure that we'll get some mutants before then. But what I mean is strictly an X-Men movie.
But that's what I'm saying. We're going to get the way they're going to do this the way they did everything else. We're going to get each X-Men one at a time, starting with the first class, starting with Angel, Beast, Cyclops, Iceman, and Jean Grey. Starting with the first class, we're going to slowly start getting them, and maybe we'll also slowly start to get a Wolverine story, being that Wolverine is the oldest of most of the mutants.
Yeah, pretty much most of them. He's the oldest, and they can put him anywhere in it because he's not part of the X-Men right away, but they could always bring his character in somewhere.
And start his story.
And start his story off, and he'll run into the X-Men later.
Now, the other reason why I said what I said is because there's a movie that's coming up that we know is coming up in Phase 6 at the end of Phase 6. It's the second Avengers movie, and it's called Avengers Secret Wars.
Secret Wars. Yeah, by the time that's why I said Phase 6, because by the time that movie happens, technically we should have already been introduced to the mutants. definitely the mutants and probably the X-Men as
We're
well.
going to get a
Because
movie.
you can't really do Secret Wars without the X-Men.
Exactly. And we're going to get a movie, and that movie is going to be called The Mutants. And here's why that movie is going to be called The Mutants. One, because Kevin Feige already hinted to it 2 years ago. Two, because right now, on the Legacy timeline, there are 3 movies that are missing from that timeline. One of them is The New Mutants. The second movie that's missing is the Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. That's another character that's going to be a part of Secret Wars, if they're going by the comics, is Galactus. Then the third movie that is missing is Wolverine, that Wolverine movie with him and Silver Samurai.
Yeah.
The fourth one.
What fourth one? Logan is on there.
Daredevil. I mean, I'm sorry, not Daredevil. Deadpool.
Deadpool is on there.
Deadpool is not down there on that list. No.
On what list? Where are you talking about?
Their plans.
Ralph, I think you're thinking what Kevin is going through. He's talking about on Disney Plus. If you go through Disney Plus, he's not talking about the timeline anymore, like phase 4, phase 5, whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's talking about he's saying what's listed on Disney Plus, just to be clear.
And those shows that are missing on Disney Plus can give you a pretty much not an exact idea, but it gives you a pretty good idea of where Marvel is going, or where Kevin Feige and where the team is going with this storyline.
Now on the screen, I have Phase 5 up, which they went over. Quantumania and Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania is starting off. It's kicking off Phase 5,
right?
Which is called.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Wes. I'm sorry.
No, I said so. Phase 5 being kicked off there. So the movies of Phase 5 is Quantumania, Guardians of the Galaxy, Blade, Captain America, New World Order, Thunderbolts, which ends it, and the Marvels. Those are all movies. Then you got Secret Invasion, Echo, Loki, Ironheart, and Daredevil, and Agatha. Those are all TV series on Disney Plus.
Remember, and Daredevil is 18 episodes.
18 episodes. Yeah. Daredevil series.
So
Beautiful.
that means that show is going to carry through for about 18 months, almost, just about. Now to go back,
not 18 months, because you're going to get an episode a week. That's 4 a month.
Yeah, I keep getting an episode a week. Yeah.
It'll be an episode a week. That's 4 a month. So, but yeah, it's gonna take if that's in spring of 2024, and then we have the Captain America is in May. So that's definitely going to run us up to the Captain America movie if it's 18 episodes. Yeah. And then you got July, the Thunderbolts. So
here's what I wanted to say, Wes, before you go on that point, just before you jump forward. Going back to Quantumania, this is nothing that Kevin Feige said. There was something that somebody from Marvel said, but I can't remember who said it. So I'm just going to keep it under the banner of this is my own prediction. The end of Quantumania is going to be the introduction of the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that too. I believe that as well.
I honestly believe that for 2 reasons. One, because if you go back to the scene in the last Ant-Man movie where Janet Van Dyne, the city that she was in, I believe that the Fantastic Four is stuck in that city with Kang.
Yeah, well, we're gonna see, and the director said, he does say the quantum realm is not what you think it is. That's what he said. He said the quantum realm is not what you're thinking, and you're going to spend some time in the quantum realm for Quantum Mania. So, and I have up Phase 6 now, which they've only pointed out in what is that, November of 2024? Did I say November?
Yeah.
Of 2024, the Fantastic Four movie, and then jumping into May of 2025 is Avengers: The Kang Dynasty, right? And then Avengers: Secret Wars. And what Kevin Feige said is that is going to round out the multiverse saga, right? All of this stuff. So that's what he meant by when that comment you made, Kev, when that idiot said Phase 10. Like, what are you talking about? It's two. These two phases is all one saga. The multiverse saga, which starts pretty much. It's kind of started already with Multiverse of Madness, but or actually with Spider-Man. Yeah. But yeah, so by the time Secret Wars comes, so all of those dates in between, we're going to have probably, I'm expecting, quite a bit of mutant stuff going on. And they'll probably announce that at the Disney D20 whatever, right? So
that's exactly what I told my colleague at work. Me and Joe was talking for about 40 minutes before I got on here. And he said the same thing. I was like, listen, bro, I'm like, they didn't show everything. I'm like, they had to save some stuff for D23. So all of those dates that were left empty was left empty on purpose.
Yeah, it was left empty on purpose.
I don't even think, to be honest with you, I don't even think that he was supposed to tell us about Phase 6, about those.
He probably wasn't. He just kind of threw it out there because, hey, he's Kevin Feige. He could do what he wanted to. But I don't think that was in the original plan either.
Nope.
I think the original plan was to just give us Phase 5, go through everything there or whatever, and maybe just tell us when the Fantastic Four, because we've been anxious because we've already seen Reed. We've seen a Reed Richards already, so everyone's real anxious about Fantastic Four. So I could see him saying, okay, it's Fantastic Four. But yeah, I can believe that this is not per se was in the plan. But you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dates or 8 slots that are missing. So I mean, and with it all ending with Secret Wars. So we know, Kev, once again, and I say to people all the time, people get on me because I mention stuff about the comics. Let's get this straight. And Ralph, I'm glad that you don't do this to us. So I know, but a lot of people who are into the movies, they seem to get annoyed with the people that talk about the comic stuff because they feel like we're coming across a certain way. I was having a discussion with a gentleman in one of these groups I'm in, and he got all offended because he's like, he makes a big post about, I don't understand where Namor fits into this. I don't know this, but his whole point was, he still can enjoy the film, and I agree with him there. All I simply responded was, well, pick up a comic. Read a comic. Like if you want to know, if you're interested in knowing where Namor fits into this story, where Wakanda in Atlantis history lies, just pick up a comic book. It's not that hard. It's right there for you.
I'm gonna interject it. This is where I get upset when I'm having these discussions about comic book movies and with people from comic books. Like what you guys said, like this whole thing with Namor, not Namor, Siri taking him out of the Black Panther. You say because it was so known in the comics, but I keep saying everybody doesn't read comic books, so
doesn't matter. Let's not forget, even though people don't read comic books, Ralph,
everybody didn't read Harry Potter.
That's right. The exact same. You absolutely right. It is the exact same thing. I did not read Harry Potter. Now I will say, when the last Harry Potter book came out, I was at the bookstore at midnight. I went to the end to see how it ended. So I said, okay, I knew how it ended. It is a little different in the movie compared to the book. Okay. But what I always try to tell people is that I'm not familiar with the comic book. So when you sit and say, well, it's such a popular storyline, I have no idea. If the movie, right. I'm saying just give me a great movie. Like when we was having a discussion not long ago about Star Wars, and I was telling you about the thing with Boba Fett and how he came back. It's totally different in the TV show, but it was in, I guess it's the same thing, but that's how it was in the comic.
Right.
But you guys see it, and it's different than what I remember.
I know we see it, but see, when you told me that bit of information, that actually helped me. You understand? So my point is this: if you're not familiar with something, I don't care what type of movie it is. If it's a biopic and you're not familiar with this person's history, you go look it up so you can understand what you're watching on the screen. So by me saying read a comic book, that's nothing. That's not belittling nobody. I'm helping you.
No, that's not. Understand. No, that's not the part that irked me. What irked me is when people say, "Well, why didn't you know this?" Because I don't read comic books.
I never say why didn't you know this. I
never said that to you.
Let me tell you something. I have actually been to Comic Con. I was actually on a line on Comic Con one day, right, going into a panel, and these two guys having a discussion about Superman, and they mentioned something about Superman that I did not know. And they said, "Well, it was in the comic book." I said, "Well, I never really read the Superman comic books. I mean, I was introduced to Superman through
the movies, right?
No, the TV show,
which millions of people were, right? Millions of people was introduced from.
Why didn't you know that? It's such a well-known thing. Blah blah. Like
because I'm not a comic book reader. It's not right.
I know Lex Luthor. I know Kryptonite and Lois Lane. Beyond that, I look. I didn't know.
Here's the problem. Now here's the problem with that, Ralph, and this is the fault of the true blue comic readers. Now you gotta think about it like this, okay? And this is it may not be the right way that they think, but I think where everyone gets irked, where the comic people you just said where the non-comic people get irked, and I understand that. Where the comic people get irked by is, let's not get it twisted. I'm just going to use myself. I'm going to put myself in there. These are our stories. 80 years of storytelling. Okay?
80.
This is not reinventing the wheel. It's 80 years of established storytelling.
8-0.
So, right, 8-0. And so I just want to say this. So where the comic people get irked is where the non-comic people, remember, we're the people that followed, supported, and read these stories from the beginning. So when the non-comic people come along and try to act like it's just, no, shouldn't do it that way because no, my friend. We supported this story, this character, this brand before you. We supported. That's just like the book readers, like you said, like the Harry Potter book readers. They feel more entitled to go see these movies because they were supporters of the brand, of the book. It doesn't mean that because I'm a non-Harry Potter fan, right? So it doesn't mean that I don't have the right to watch a Harry Potter movie, right? And I don't have a right. It doesn't mean I don't have the right to have an opinion or have a right to say, I think it's better this way than that way, because that's still my opinion. Even if I read the book and then watched the movie and said I like the movie better than the book, people who read the book will probably get insulted. But that's fine. That's what happens. That's where we irk each other, right? So my point is this. Let's make no mistake. When I'm an objective. I'm on both sides, meaning like, of course, I'm a movie guy, but I am a comic guy as well. I'm not even the as much of a diehard comic guy as some of my other friends, right? So, but I respect the story where it originated, where it came from, and I'm like that with anything, bro. Stephen King. I'm a big Stephen King fan, and if I if I watch a movie that I read a Stephen King book from, and it's nowhere near that, and it doesn't serve the original source material, in my opinion, I'm gonna have a problem with the movie.
Well,
You know what I'm
wait,
saying?
but with that one, if and once again, I'm just because I've never read most of Stephen King books or all, but
Yeah.
aren't most of the early Stephen King books, don't they all veer away from the original books? Don't they
What do you
all
mean?
do it?
They see that.
Yeah, a lot of
See,
the
that's the
movies
point.
did. Yeah, a lot of the movies did. That's
Yeah,
why Stephen King never liked none of them. Right? Remember,
exactly.
Stephen King is went on record. He doesn't really like
Yeah,
any of the
he does
movies that
not
was
like The
made.
Shining at all.
Yeah,
I don't.
he didn't like any.
And
I
that's the
mean,
weird
now
thing.
doesn't mean
It's
it
the one
wasn't a
that
great film. Doesn't mean it wasn't a great film. Doesn't mean it can't be a great film. So, in my opinion, like I said, let's get back to let's just bring it. I'll take it away from Stephen King. Let's bring it back to the comics, right? So when I say that, to me, it makes the most sense to go ahead and follow the storyline from the comic, which a lot of people haven't read and does not know. So it's not like it's just something that everyone's going to know what's going to happen, right? And they always change things. We know that they always change things, but they keep. And Ryan Coogler is a comic book collector. He collected Black comic. He read Black Panther as a kid, as a child. That's what he said, right? So he tries to keep things comic accurate, and of course they're gonna make changes. So like I said, if they decide to put someone else in the Black Panther suit, it's gonna be a female. So we're in the ballpark, right? It's definitely a female, but they say, oh, haha, it's not Shuri. Fooled ya. You don't. To me, it doesn't make sense for that to be the reason to make that decision. Now, if Ryan Coogler is a brilliant mind, and if he finds a way to bring it all home and show, and someone else other than Shuri ends up in the Black Panther, and he explains it and it's all brought home, then I'm not gonna be butthurt about it. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, all right, cool. That's the way he decided to go with it. As long as it makes sense and it's dope, and I believe he's not gonna do anything that doesn't make sense. But I just believe that he likes to serve certain things, and once again, he's already had this story on his radar. So when tragedy is faced with tragedy, why not just pull it out now? Because he had to write the script from scratch. He had to start over after he had already wrote a whole nother script with Chadwick in mind.
Yeah.
So now, why not, instead of any smart move, if you already had, who knows, you could have already had a treatment banged out for the third film with the Shuri storyline. So now you take that, you bring it, you adapt it, you put it into this one, and then you also, this, it's called Wakanda Forever for a reason, because no one is going to be the main focus, like as if it was T'Challa the main focus as the Black Panther. All of them, every one of them are going to do something important in this film.
Just like in the last film, where everybody from Wakanda came together to make to fight against actually one of their own and Killmonger.
Right. Killmonger, right. Which, even though he was one of their own by blood, but he really wasn't one of their own.
Wasn't one of their own. But I missed the other guy too. I couldn't remember his name.
Oh, the other one, yeah, with Rhino, yeah. So that's my only thing with that. Of course, non-comic movie lovers, they like, oh, I love Black Panther because it serves Black people and it shows us in a great light and it shows us in superhero and blah blah blah. But the comic people are like, yeah, that's all fine and dandy, bruh, but let's not forget. This is our story. And you try to adapt it, and it is beautiful that it's brought to something bigger than what it was. That's the point of making a movie from a comic, to make it on a larger scale and bigger than just the comic. But the bottom line is, for the guy who said to me in the chat room or whatever we was talking in the Facebook group, and he's like, I don't have to know anything about comics in order to join the movie. Of course you don't. But I'm answering specifically I'm responding specifically to you saying I don't know where Namor fits into this story. Well, my friend, if you don't know where Namor fits into this story, pick up a comic book. Look it up. Look it up.
Wikipedia.
You can Wikipedia it and it'll give you general knowledge, but if you really want to know the history of it.
Wait, Wes, hold on, Wes. I'm gonna pause you on that one because Ralph is kind of sort of right with that Wikipedia one because there is a comics Wikipedia.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
That
will give you. Yeah, there's a Wikipedia. There's a wiki that's like a comic. Like if you go into like the comic book world, there's a wiki for it. It's not like that's what it is. So there is. You can go on the internet. You don't have to necessarily. I just say pick up the comic so you can get the full blunt of the story. But you don't necessarily have to pick up a comic. You could just look it up.
And there's another one for you. There's a guy from called Comics Explained. Break down everything.
Makes everything. So my only point to that guy was, don't sit here and say you don't understand. And I've seen a lot of people. That's what irked me as a comic book fan. I'm seeing all of these reaction videos. First of all, I'm pissed off because YouTube is always jerking us when I try to do reaction videos. I see all these reaction videos of people, and they don't even know what's going on. Nope. Meaning like the basic stuff. Some people didn't even know who Namor was. Some people were looking like, who's that? And now to me, that's just lazy.
Oh, Nakia's pregnant.
She pregnant. Oh, is she pregnant with the child? And there's like people saying, I think it's Killmonger. Why do you think it's Killmonger? There's some guy from Entertainment Tonight. I don't care. I think it's Killmonger. It looks like it's his suit. Dude, are you looking at this picture? That is not Michael B. Jordan. Let's be honest.
Not only that, he's on the right path. But if he just took a second to look at the suit, then you would realize by looking at the suit that Jennifer's. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. My neighbor just walked by. She's fine. But if you looked at the suit and you looked at the gold accents in the suit.
Man whore.
You will notice. You will notice. What did you say?
Man whore.
Oh yeah, I am. I'm such a man. Yeah, I am. Listen, there is no lie there. There is no lie. I got some fine papers. But let's get
furthermore, with the suit, like what you said. But all I'm saying is this now: until proven otherwise, there's been no hint whatsoever. Killmonger is dead, okay? Yeah. And until we see that he's not dead or no longer dead, why would I believe that that's Killmonger? We have gotten no indication whatsoever from nothing, not from interviews, nothing's been leaked, thankfully. They were very tight on that.
Well, the only thing I will say that's been said, and again, this is not leaked from any Marvel source. This is leaked from somebody assuming is that Shuri's going to see Killmonger in the ancestral
plane. Very possible. That I can see, and that makes sense. That makes sense to bring Michael B. Jordan back to do that part. But I don't think I honestly don't feel it goes any further than that. The only other thing that we had, it was a pure theory. I think me and Kev talked about this off air once before. The pure theory is if they actually did what he wanted them to do and threw him into the ocean, Atlantis does have the technology to probably bring him back or something like that.
Oh my God. Yo, wait a minute. Hold on. Jesus Christ. I didn't even think. Listen, yo, you know what? I didn't even think about that.
That's a possibility.
Could that be
and on top of that, he might be able to tell them where Wakanda is. You know, because had they find Wakanda, if you see some of the pictures that we went through before, there once again, I I have to say it again. I'm about to be a comic book nerd, as people might get irked by it. If you go look it up, people are, what's going on? Why is there water in the Wakanda? Well, there is a storyline where Namor, so
Floods
for the
Wakanda.
people who don't know where he fits in, Namor with a huge tidal wave flooded the continent of Africa and the country of Wakanda. He flooded it with a tidal wave, a huge tidal wave, almost like a tsunami type deal. They flooded it.
Because unlike Aquaman, Namor can actually control the oceans.
Right. He's like a bender. He's like a water bender, you know. One of the, I think he is, or maybe the other guy is the other one, Atuma or whatever. One of them is a water bender. And they may give Namor that power at different times in the comic. You know, he has different types of powers, but the bottom line is they flood Wakanda, and there was pictures right there. There was pictures. If I could bring those, like find those pictures again.
There were images of Wakanda in water.
Yeah, there was images of the throne being flooded, right? I think that's right. Let me share it right here.
That looked like a hot scene too, with all the fire and
Yeah,
there, just standing
that's
around
Shuri.
looking at.
Wait, oh, you know what?
That's Shuri standing there.
Here we go. Here we go. Hold up. Let's stick to that point.
Right there. Go back.
Let's stick to that point.
I think that's Shuri standing there. That's Shuri standing there and at the throne.
She's standing there, but I think that's the astral plane that she's in, and she's in a room with Killmonger.
I don't know, because the room is flooded with water.
Yeah.
It looks like it could have been after the scene where the water flooded, because the water flooded that exact room, that throne room. There's the picture of it right there. The water's crashed in, and that's the room with the throne. And then now there's a picture of her standing in a room with a throne. Looks like different though, because that's a red carpet. Yeah, it's a red carpet type of room, but it has a throne there.
And also the fire on the sides is different.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but it looks like it could be the same room. Look at the wall markings. It's a similar room if it's not the same room. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is part of the attack.
You know what that room might be? No. What I was going to say was stick to the thing about. But what I was going to say was about the
ancestral plan.
I lost it. Oh, there it is. What I was going to say was about the attack, the way the attack happens. Remember back in Endgame when Black Widow was asking Okoye how we handling that earthquake under the water, and Okoye said it's an earthquake underwater. You handle it by not handling it.
Yeah, you handle it by not handling it. Yeah, that's definitely going to connect to Atlantis.
But I'm about to make the connection right now, because even if, let's just say, even if they're not allowing Namor in this movie to be a waterbender, for lack of a better phrase, because we're calling it just what we normally would call it, the water. Right. But either him or Atuma, let's just say that him or Atuma are not waterbenders. A way that Atuma can, I'm going to assume that it's Atuma that floods Wakanda, and I got a feeling the way he floods Wakanda is by the way tsunamis are generated in the first place, which is by underwater.
Yeah, earthquake underwater. That's a tsunami.
That makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
Logical. That sounds logical.
Sounds very logical. Now here's the pictures right here I mentioned before. Here's a picture of the Queen, with some guards around. It looks like she's at like a Congress, like a world or meeting or whatever. Right, that's where she's at. World Council meeting. You see her sitting there or whatever. And that's her on the throne yelling at somebody. That's the part where she says that very passionate thing about her family being gone. I just, and once again, another speculation of mine, or just from that line, I'm assuming or speculating that there might be flashbacks of, or maybe a portion, maybe the beginning of the movie or anything like that, may take place during the blip, because that line to me, yeah, either that. I mean, what happens to Shuri then? If you're going to say that your entire family is gone, now maybe Shuri gets kidnapped by the Atlanteans, or something happens where she's missing, and that's why she delivers that line. Because now at that point, that would be her entire family being gone, right? She didn't
I
say
think Shuri
dead;
gets.
she said
I
gone.
think two things. I think is one, from what you said earlier, with that with Homeboy saying he had an intimate scene, or he shared a scene, excuse me, with
He shared a scene with her, right?
with Letitia Wright, that he had a scene with Shuri. So to me, it's one of two things: either, like you said, the beginning of this film takes place
During the blip.
and
Because we
to
never
become
we
black.
know that Shuri, we know that, right, we know that Shuri and T'Challa got snapped away. We know that they were both missing in Endgame by the time that. So we know that we don't know what happened to the mother, so we have to assume that she didn't get snapped, right? So or they would have mentioned
What
it.
if it's in the
Huh?
What?
Imagine if it was her in the Black Panther costume.
Well, I said that it's
fighting.
very possible that it could have been her too. Someone brought that up once before. Someone said, "What if she, we know that they had their hands on the heart-shaped herb when they brought T'Challa back. You had to make the potion for him to drink it. Maybe they can." And I'm not really concerned about the
Well, we
heart-shaped
talked
herb,
about
because I believe, right, we
that.
talked about that. But someone else was talking about, well, maybe she kept, some from when her husband was the Black Panther. I said, well, that's a cool thought, but if that was the case, she would have used it on her son when her son was dying. What I mean?
Yeah.
If she had it, if she had
Yep,
one hidden
exactly.
away from when her husband was
Was
Black Panther, she would have used it on her
and it was
son.
clear.
Huh. So now, but doesn't mean that it can't be her
Exactly. And above all of that,
in
it was
the Black
it was
Panther.
clearly stated or clearly shown that he.
You're breaking up, Kev.
Say it
We're
again?
losing you. We're losing you.
Oh yeah, I was losing you guys too. Sorry if I was over. Sorry if it seemed like I was overwalking you. My phone was breaking up as well as the feed was breaking up. No, I just said, it was clear that Nakia was the last person with the last piece of heart-shaped herb, because Killmonger had the rest of it burnt, torched. He had the whole labyrinth where the heart-shaped herb was growing was torched.
Yeah.
So Nakia, unless more they grew after the fact, because if the nature of the heart-shaped herb flows like the rest of the nature on Earth, scorching Earth on planted fields usually means it prepares the earth for. So hopefully that's what it is. But I think Shuri
if it grew once, it'll grow, right.
left.
If it grew once, it could grow again, and we know Shuri has the technology to probably simulate it or mimic it or whatever. She still has the technology to make the weapons of Wakanda and the vibranium weapons and stuff like that. So I could see that. I don't see that being a major issue going forward in the story. I don't see that as being a major. But, Killmonger burned the heart-shaped herbs. Yeah, but how do we know that's the only field that grew heart-shaped herbs? How do we know that it came from the ground? It came from the earth where where the vibranium is, the same mines or where the same areas of the soil where the vibranium is. So how do we know? You know what I'm saying? It might just regrow. That was just that could have just been a temporary fix. You know what I'm saying? Him burning it, saying he don't want nobody else being able to get to it now. You know what I mean? So
Well, not,
it
not for
doesn't
nothing,
mean
but how? But not for nothing, but how do they know that um field of herbs there wasn't one before? They already took it out, and now they already got it processed, maybe bottled up or something. Like
yeah, exactly. We don't know that. We don't know
No,
that.
but here's the thing. They, that's the one thing we do kind of sort of know that is because they only process the heart shaped herb when it's time for the
Black Panther.
for the for Black Panther to have the strength for when they have to take it away from him, because I think they used the same potion to take it away from him, and then there's a derivative of the potion that they give him that actually gives him the strength.
Yeah, give him the strength. Yeah, so I mean it's a lot. I still think
I don't
that
think
I
that
still
these why Killmonger said because they don't grew in that way. Because if you remember, they showed my being around there, but they only showed the area where the heart shaped
yeah.
was.
Kev, you're breaking up really bad.
Mr. Roboto.
It sounded very robotic. I muted your mic because you sound like a transformer. Not that definitely no shade. It was just really coming across, and no one was able to no one was able to.
He sounded like C-3PO when he got shot by the stormtroopers. Like,
but let's we'll get that back. But anyhow, I don't think that the heart shaped herb is going to be an issue going forward. With that being said, we look forward to it. I just hope people just understand. Let Ryan Coogler sit back and do what he do. He obviously understands the assignment. He knows what he's doing. And I believe this film is going to be another great film. I think it's going to be the way he's doing it is going, and he's trying to do a lot of things. I mean, you got to give Ryan Coogler credit. I'm gonna be honest with you. You got to give this man credit for even coming back and doing this movie. The reason why is because he has a lot up against him. He really does. Like we talked about, fans are relentless when it comes. You got people sitting here, recast T'Challa, and he's clearly said he doesn't want to recast T'Challa for this film because they feel like they haven't properly served and honored Chadwick Boseman. That is their personal spin on it. These are people that work with the guy, that love the guy, that was friends with the guy. So give them their opportunity to do that, right? And for that reason, even if it's that reason alone, he decides, I am not recasting T'Challa this movie. Even if it's for that reason alone, I have to respect that. Now, it's very possible. I hope this doesn't happen, but maybe Ryan Coogler won't do any more Black Panthers. Maybe someone else will take over and they'll recast T'Challa or whatever. We don't know. I hope that doesn't happen, but I'm just saying. My point is, give the man some credit. He came back and he was able to deliver a story. Well, he hasn't delivered it yet. He's finished it, but we haven't seen it yet. But I believe he's going to deliver a story. He was able to write a story that still honors Chadwick, that doesn't disrespect the Black Panther, right?
Mm-hmm.
still honors the character and the actor as well, and we're still going to get some good action, some new characters, and some overall closure. I believe they wanted to bring closure to the screen before we move on to recasting T'Challa. That's what I think they're trying to do. And I believe that's what he's going to do. So everybody needs to relax and sit back and see what happens. Trust the process.
I think film number 3 is when they reintroduce T'Challa.
I agree. I keep telling people they are going to. They may not even wait to film number 3. It might be one of these other films that's going on in the multiverse. Let's not forget, people. We are in the midst of the multiverse saga. Okay, that consists of Phase 5 and 6. The multiverse saga.
Well, since you said it like that, and me sitting here reading about Black Panther, you know, it wouldn't surprise me to see, based on what I read the comic book, Black Panther to show up in the Daredevil show.
Anything can happen. I mean, you know, you never know. I mean,
well, it says here there was a storyline where Black Panther comes and he takes the mantle of Daredevil for a while in New York City. So maybe you do introduce him in there.
Where did they say that? That he that Black Panther did Daredevil? I don't remember that story. I mean, I'm not saying it didn't happen. I don't remember that. I remember Iron Fist wearing the Daredevil costume one time because he was trying to help clear Matt Murdock, because Matt Murdock was accused of being Daredevil, which he is, but he didn't want to be. So Iron Fist actually wore the Daredevil costume and was, you know, floating around as Daredevil so they could be seen at the same time, Matt Murdock and Daredevil.
Let me find it, because I just saw it and reading about this, where he
I didn't see that. And once again, you know, I kind of
here it is. It says T'Challa.
So I don't
know. Issue 513, February 2011, when the series is called Black Panther: The Man Without Fear. That T'Challa accepted an invitation from Matt Murdock, the superhero Daredevil, to become the new protector of New York City's Hell Kitchen neighborhood. He became the lead character in Daredevil, beginning with issue number 513 in February 2011, when it was called Black Panther: The Man Without Fear. Underwriter David Liss and artist Francesco Francavilla, he took on the identity of Mr. Okinawa, an immigrant from the Dominican Republic of the Congo, and becomes the owner of a small diner in order to be close to the people.
Interesting. I've never see, once again, you know, I fell off on comics for a while, so I've never known about that story. So anything's possible. I mean, you gotta remember with Marvel, they integrate all their characters. It's like there's every single character has been crossed over in a comic book somewhere. You know, so that's, I mean, it just leaves the door of possibilities open. But I believe because we're in the multiverse, that yes, a variant of T'Challa could pop up, and a variant could be anybody. It doesn't have to be obviously Chadwick Boseman. A variant could be Killmonger. You know, Killmonger could be a variant in another world, in another universe, a variant of Black Panther, just like you know, you had Mordo. You know, he wasn't a variant of Doctor Strange, but I'm just saying he was the Sorcerer Supreme in that world.
You got to remember, those technically aren't variants, because those are the people of those timelines.
Mm-hmm. No, but what I mean is it doesn't necessarily have to be a variant. What I meant was, in another timeline, Killmonger can be the Black Panther, like rightfully the Black Panther.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Another universe.
Another universe. And like I said,
another timeline, like you said, not another universe, another timeline. Because the universe, because you remember, our universe, even though this is still in this timeline, in this time that we're in I'm just going to call our timeline as the 616. So the timeline that we're in, our universe, everything that encompasses what we're in, like when we look up the stars that we see, are all encompassed into this. For lack of a better phrase, I'm just going to call it timeline. Or our universes, our Saturn, our Mars, or everything that's attached to this timeline is in this timeline. When you leave this timeline,
When you go leave this time, you go to another one. There's still, I mean, but according to Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, there's different types of versions of different things, right? But there was but remember, through that multiverse, the multiverse is different universes because you had the ink universe, you had the cartoon universe, like they're different universes because it was like all those different things, and then you have the ones that parallel our universe, but they're different, or our timeline, if you want to say, and they're different. But anyway, not to get stuck on that. You can recast. You could just recast them straight up. But like I said, we need, and I know you said you disagree with it, Ralph, but I honestly feel we need this break because right now, if we were to go ahead and recast TChalla right now, that actor would not get a fair shake as that character. That is just a fact.
All right, but before I say this, I'm just going to ask this: is this only because he passed away? Is this only because
not only because he passed away, because he did the job that he did as that character.
Then this is why I'm going to disagree, because we have a multitude of films where the character beyond James Bond, for example, right? Now you could arguably say that when Roger Moore or Lansbury took over for Sean Connery, maybe they didn't get a fair break because Connery was so much identified as James Bond. But let's take
after it was established, though, Ralph.
Right.
I get what you're saying with here, but I think James Bond is a bad example because it has now been established that different people play James Bond.
So then what I say is this: let's look at the X-Men. You had the X-Men that came out, but then you had X-Men First Class. You had someone else playing Professor X, someone else playing Magneto.
And they caught flack, especially the guy who played Professor X, even though he did a good job.
And he did a good job.
He did a great job. But here's your answer to that, Ralph. Who did they want to come? Who did they bring back in Multiverse of Madness as Professor X? The person who everyone loved as Professor X.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
So if that was the case, they'd have brought him back. So,
they would have definitely brought James McAvoy back. I don't think they're going to. If they bring him back, I will be surprised.
I'll be surprised too.
But the reason why I don't think they're going to bring him back is because of the time between James McAvoy last being in the X, which was 2019,
right,
and the next time we're going to see an X-Men film, which is not going to be until 2024.
Right, at least.
So unless behind the scenes, Marvel and Kevin Feige is working their magic and is like, listen, you go ahead and do what you need to do, but from this time period, we're locking you in for this. Are you down?
Right.
Me personally, I think that no, you don't like James. I think you reboot him. Even though I really like Fassbender as Magneto, I think you reboot him. Now, but when it comes to the people, the mutants themselves, that one, I mean like
the Clash.
Right, the Clash. That one I'm a little more torn about because I think some of them you certainly could still use them.
Exactly, Ralph, which is why we will not get an X-Men movie for at least 5 years. This is my point. This is the point. How you're feeling right now about X-Men is how everyone is feeling about Black Panther. Even though they know that T'Challa is, they know that Chadwick Boseman has passed away and they want to recast T'Challa. As much as they're saying that, if it was done right now, that person would not get a fair shake as this character. We need the break, just like we need the break from the X-Men, because just like you're saying, you're torn. But because of that, Ralph, we're not getting an X-Men film for at least 5 years. So now you're accept who they bring back.
But then I would
equate that to
X-Men. But then I would equate that to like the Joker. Like most of us love Heath Ledger as Joker, but we've had 2 incarnations of the Joker since then. One version we really didn't like, but the other one, I think we can say we loved.
We loved, exactly. Right. But how many years was that? Bro?
It's not many. It is
a lot. It's at least 5 years. It's more than 5 years. It's more than 5 years. But since Dark Knight.
Well, no, from Dark Knight, but the interval between Leto and Phoenix is not that many years. It's like I want to say 3, maybe 2.
And you see what happened to Leto.
I think that was more the project. I really would say that's a project.
I'm like, you see what happened to Leto, right?
Because theoretically, I'm just saying theoretically, you put him into Justice League, the real Justice League, not that bullshit version. And for all you out there, stop watching Justice League on TNT.
Yeah, please stop watching. They're showing the garbage with DC. Warner Brothers doing that crap on purpose.
Yeah,
they're showing the crappy version of Justice League on purpose on TNT.
And I want to add to that, because not only are they showing the crappy version on purpose, but they're also, and it's a great version, but they're also, if you go to look up Zack Snyder's Justice League, which is the one you should be looking for to watch.
Yeah.
When you go to watch it, you have to make sure, because see, they're doing it deceptively. There's 2 versions of that. There's a black and white version of it, which is awesome. And
but
then
not everybody loves it. But I loved it. But not everybody. It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
But there's also a color version. But what they're doing is they have both of them in black. They have both of the thumbnails are in black and white.
Yeah, they're doing that on purpose too, because that's not necessarily the black and white. Because the black and white version is called Justice is Gray.
Right.
That's the version that's actually shown in black and white. And just to throw in there, Ralph, no, Dark Knight and Suicide Squad are at least 8 years apart. Because Dark Knight was in 2008.
But that's not what I said. I said the interval between Suicide Squad and Joker is, I think, like
Suicide Squad and Joker. But what I'm saying is we started with Heath Ledger, right? Heath Ledger, who everyone thought at that point no one was going to top his Joker. He dies, but then once again we didn't have another Joker on screen until 8 years later.
Yeah.
Right? At 2016. All right. So then now 2016 and Joker came out what? 2020? 2019? Joker came out?
I want to say
Joker came out 2021.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did.
No, it came in 2000. That means it came out last year. No, it did not come out. I want to say 2018. It was certainly before
2019. 2019 was Joker. 2019 was Joker. Okay. So once again, that to me that still doesn't, Joker, that was the first time Joker had got his own film, was in 2019. So once again, unless it's a film or it's something that's established that it's going to be a recast. Like, let's be honest. Look how long it took them to recast Superman. And when they finally recast him, poor Brandon Routh he caught it.
He got steamrolled.
He caught it.
And he was a good
guy. And he wasn't even a bad Superman. He was a good Superman.
I think it was the project. It was a project.
It was more the project, but I'm just saying he still caught it. You know what I'm saying? And so my point is this. Right now, you can't deny it, Ralph. If they put in, if like people just throwing anybody out there. Oh, John so-and-so Washington, Denzel Washington's son. If they cast Denzel Washington's son as T'Challa right now, he will get flambéed. He will get basted. They will
Let
destroy him.
me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I was the first person to say that he would be a good T'Challa. You know what West did?
No.
That's all I heard.
And there's plenty of people. There's plenty of people that could be, and that's what I'm saying. I'm guilty of it too. I'm telling you right now. I feel it's the best.
I didn't see shit he did.
Right. It was. I was saying that too. I was like, I felt for him, and not just for that guy in particular. I felt he ain't got enough. He ain't put in enough work. That was just me.
He's like, he ain't did enough work. What'd he do?
I said, he ain't put enough work.
What he did is Inception.
And I'll be honest with you.
Well, he did Tenet. He did that. He was on board.
I wasn't overly impressed with any of his roles. That's all I'm saying. I thought he was cool. He was good in he was good in a lot of his films, but he was good in Black Klansman. But I wasn't overly impressed with any of his roles. But that's neither here nor there. My point is this: me as an example, all the humming and humming and grunting that I was doing will be times that by 100.
Oh my!
I'm gonna tell you who should play T'Challa. I know exactly who should play T'Challa. Rayon Lawrence. There you go.
Rayon Lawrence. Yeah.
There you go.
Good job, Rayon. There you go. Rayon Lawrence is T'Challa.
You know what? See what Ralph did, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
You see what he did, though, right?
But in the spirit of that, and shout out to Rayon Lawrence, right? Shout out to Rayon Lawrence. In the spirit of that, it might actually be best if they did cast an unknown.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, in the spirit of that, cast someone who's not. Don't go back and don't try to cast some big actor that everybody's seen doing other stuff. Get somebody who is
like they
fairly new, right?
Like they did with Namor,
right? Get somebody who's fairly new, and just really will service the character, and is willing to do that. Go ahead and do that. As a matter of fact, do you even better? Cast somebody who's African. Cast an African as him. You know what I'm saying?
It ain't hard to do.
It ain't hard to do. Go get an African actor, someone who's born out. That's the same thing that I'm saying about Storm. Cast an African actress.
I know
that she's in Manhattan. Blah 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 blah. Cast an African actress.
I keep telling you, Yvonne Orji.
But I love DeWanda Wise. I really would love DeWanda Wise.
Yvonne Orji. That's the thing with that. Right there, Yvonne Orji.
Here's the thing with that. I agree with casting an African actress. Yeah. I would go as far as to say make sure she's of Sudanese descent, because that's the closest thing that you're going to get to an original Egyptian.
Yeah.
Being that Storm spent her non-parental years in Cairo, because that's where she got stuck after her parents got killed.
Yeah.
But if you're going by origin, Storm is American by birth. And her mother is African, and I forget where her mother is from. Her mother's actually I think her mother's actually a Nigerian princess or something like that. And her father,
her mother was like I think her mother was from Kenya, a princess from a tribe in Kenya.
Yeah,
she was
of Kenyan. She was of Kenyan royalty, and her father was from Harlem. So. Yeah. So
True. No, you're right. She is born in America, so she is American. That is true. I agree with you. But she did spend a lot of her young years in Africa.
Yeah, from her. And so it was from her teenage years, and only because her mother and father got killed in that plane crash, so she was stuck. She got stuck in Cairo. Because they were in a bombing or something like that.
Yeah.
So she ended up getting as a teenager.
I would like to do that. So, and I think, and you, like I said, you're 100% right. I would not obviously be butthurt if if they cast it, because I like certain people. I like DeWanda Wise. I love her for the role. I think she looks great in
And
the
listen,
role.
and I agree exactly with Wes is saying, but if you're going to do it, listen, this chick needs to be 5'8" and up. I'm tired of short America getting all of
Yes,
the superheroes.
she definitely needs to be tall because
I keep
Storm is pretty tall.
I keep telling you guys who that should be. That should be Yvonne Orji. She
No, I
everything that you said about the character's background is Yvonne Orji.
well, I
From
mean, hey,
Africa, grew up in the United States,
yeah,
right? She actually comes from Nigeria. You know, the only gripe I got about her at this point in time, let's say this is until like 4 or 5 years down the line, is by then she's too old because then she's in her mid-40s. That might be a little, and that's the same thing I would say with anybody, male or female. I think in your 40s is a little older to start playing that kind of character because of the physicality and stuff. Now,
But unless she's a very physical adult. If she's in a physical
right.
adult, she's in prime state,
Yeah,
and
if
she's in
she's in great shape and some people just age wise or not, if they're in great shape, they don't look their age and they can pull it off. But it's just a matter of her being in that role, and now granted, I do not want to see. I'm tired of seeing all these young people. Me, not young people. Let me rephrase that. The young versions of the characters. I'm tired of seeing that.
we don't need no more
You know what I'm saying?
teenagers. It's
We don't need no
time for
more teenage stuff. Let's get some adults. Like when you come back with the X-Men, don't have them as young teenagers. If anything, let them be, in their late teens, go in their 20s, the oldest one being over 20. Let's
they
go
should
there. I'm
be in
okay
their,
with that.
they should be in their mid to late 20s, period.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, and Disney and Marvel, and listen, all of you, I hope you're all listening. Because when we grew up in the 70s, and Charlemagne the God, stop saying the 1900s, yo dumbass. That I just had to get that off my chest. That's so annoying. I was born in the 1900s. Nigga, stop acting old. You were born in 1970. You ain't that late
Right, you wasn't
1970s.
born in just the 1900s. You were born in the
Dumbass.
1970s.
The reference, when you reference the term 1900s, everybody automatically thinks 1903. There ain't nobody
Right.
thinking you say 19. Ain't nobody thinking 1970. Anyway, getting back to my point. In the 1970s, Evel Knievel, Steve Austin, G.I. Joe, all of them were in their late 20s to early 30s. Our superheroes were adults, and we got along just fine.
Right.
Why is it the 90s come and all of a sudden all of the heroes got to be teenagers?
Well,
So that we can have toys. Let me
I'll say
finish.
this.
So let me finish. So that we can have toys. So
No,
that
that's not it.
we could better enjoy the toys if
Nope.
we show them as kids.
Nope,
I
that's
just
not it. That's not it. That's not it. It's
Well-
longevity. It's longevity.
Well, I mean, yeah, they're doing it for the longevity,
Well,
especially
G.I. Joe too.
for the characters. But I'll say this: when it comes to the X-Men, if we're gonna be comic accurate, when the X-Men comics started, when they showed that first class of the X-Men, they were teenagers. They just were later in their teens, but they were teenagers. They weren't like 14, 15. They were more like 18, 19. Or they were still teenagers, but they were young
But
adults.
listen, at that
And then
age,
they
you're a
matured.
young adult. You ain't a teenager.
Right,
You're
you're
a
a
young
young
adult.
adult. So
They
that
were
I
all, they
can.
were all young adults. They were all young adults.
They were all young adults. The
Professor
oldest one might have been, 19, 20,
No,
whatever,
no. Beast,
Right.
I think Beast was the oldest out
He
of
was
all of
definitely
them.
the oldest out of all of them. But the bottom line is, I just don't want to see a bunch of teeny boppers out there playing, and we don't need that. I don't want to see that no more. I can understand, and that's why, even though I know Kev didn't like that they went back with Spider-Man, I didn't have a problem with it because when Spider-Man started, he was a teenager. So I was like, all right, fine, that's fine. And now they state, and because to your point, Ralph, to your point, Ralph, the longevity kicks in by casting Tom Holland. The longevity kicks in now because now we can go forward as the last film we saw him. Now he is now transitioned into quote unquote adulthood where he's living on his own and stuff like that, right?
But see, but that's why that's why I liked where Andrew Garfield was. Andrew Garfield was about to be out of, if I'm not mistaken, in the first Spider-Man movie, he was about to be out of high school, going into college. He was in his last year of high school.
He was in his last year, yeah.
Which Peter Parker was in the comics when he was fighting Flash Gordon and all of them in high school. He was in his last year of high school.
He was like in his last year of high school, yeah, because he went and got a job. That's how he got the job at the Daily Bugle. He was a late teenager, right? So he was able to get that job at the Daily Bugle and stuff like that. So yeah, just go ahead and start. If you want to do X-Men, I would love you to start them. They could be, late teenagers, young adults, you know what I mean? And go there. Just don't make them little people. Just like what they did with Rogue. That was ridiculous. I didn't like that. Even though Rogue did come to the team young, but they made the way, when they cast
she came to the team in her 20s.
Right. When they right, exactly. When they used Anna Paquin as a child and had her, they had her in there as like the only one who was like a child when they came, was like Jubilee, they were like really young. And even Kitty Pryde, they were like younger than the rest of them and stuff like that. But I'm just saying, neither here nor there. I'm hoping that they do that. And that's that. Before we in the show or whatever, Ralph, I wanted to touch on how we looking with the seating for our tournament?
We got some issues because I've had a second thought. I've been thinking about this thing more and more, right? Because two of the people that we had on our list, Christina Applegate and Sophie Turner, we took them off because they were originally teenagers when they started the show.
They were young. They were.
But I was thinking about this, but reality, they may have been teenagers when they started the show, but they were on the show so long that when the show ended, they were full-grown adults.
Doesn't matter.
Should that really be held against them? Because this is a situation like wait a minute, let me finish. This is a situation like with Kim Fields, where Kim Fields was on Facts of Life. She started out as a little girl, but by the time Facts of Life ended, she still wasn't an adult. She was still a teenager. Whereas Christina Applegate started the show at 17, but by the time she ended it, she was almost 30.
Well, but here's my issue. My issue with it is the same issue that I have with Megan Good, but for a different reason. The first time I saw Megan Good, she was like 9, I think, when she was on Eve's Bayou. Maybe she was 13, I don't know, but she was a kid. My daughter wasn't even born yet when I saw her. So I'm like, yo, I when I see her now, I that's all I still see that little kid. It's like when I see my daughter, I see that little kid. It's the same thing with Sophie Turner. When I see Sophie Turner, I see Sansa when she was a kid.
All right, well, if that's the case, if I had Regina King, would you just see Regina King only from 227?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, Regina King wasn't in any other show unless you're going to use her in from the show, but that's too late. You're not using from the 2020s, right?
Right.
Well,
you're not using from 2020 because she was in the Watchmen. I mean, the Watchmen show.
But I just said that because that's someone who, when I first saw Regina King was playing Brenda on 227. She was a little kid. She was a mid-teenager. But now when I see her, I don't see Regina King from 227. I see Regina King from like Jerry Maguire and everything else, not 227, right? And I would say the same.
I don't see her from, and actually, I forgot about Jerry Maguire. Actually, when I see her next is Boys in the Hood, and then Enemy of the State. But even to that point though, Ralph, even with and Wes jacked me up on this one. I don't see what's her name, Smollett. I ever since Wes reminded me that she was on Silver Spoons or whatever that show was.
The other one, Full House.
Full House.
Yeah,
Ever
she was
since
on
Wes
Full House.
reminded me she was on Full House, yo, I don't see her any other way. I can't even and I done watched her, and I feel creepy that me and Wes done had full on conversations about how great that chick looked in whatchamacallit on
Oh shit, she does. Ain't no how she does. They're just. I mean, come on. She had. Look, she had to grow up. She had to grow up.
And granted, I hear Wes. I mean Ralph. I hear you, but unfortunately, because some of these chicks were born around the time, either right before, or some of these chicks were on TV around the time or right before my daughter was born. Specifically, if for whatever reason, it's because I think Megan Good is because Megan Good kind of looks like my daughter a little bit. They have the same skin complexion, they're about the same height. They resemble each other a little bit. So it's like when I see her, I can't I can't process that that's a full.
I'm like, well, that's you, brother.
Yeah, I gotta say that is really you.
But what I'm saying,
I'm
the reason
gonna
why I think we should keep the original what we decided before, because yes, by the time the show ended, they were adults. But the bottom line is, in the peak of the shows, when they were showing people, even though Kelly, like the Kelly Bundy, everybody was lusted over Kelly Bundy when she was a kid because of the way they portrayed her in the show, right?
Yeah, and because she was cute as a kid.
Because she was a cute kid, right? So that's fine. That's just like saying, Topanga, the girl who played Topanga, was an adult by the time they were done. She was older by the time they was done with Boy Meets World,
Winnie,
right?
Winnie,
right? Winnie, same thing from one of the years. So I just think because they were kids, I just feel like I don't know. It's to me it crosses a little bit of the creep line to me.
It does.
And I just think we should stay away from it because there's plenty of women that were full-grown adults that we can go ahead and lust over on this list. We lose Applegate, we lose the other one. Yeah, they were big names and they were considered sex symbols at some point, especially Applegate. At some point,
she was no makeup pretty. Like she's like she's like Raven Simone. Like if Raven Simone is a little bit older, if I'd never seen her as a kid, she's very attractive. And if she wasn't a lesbian, that would be open game. But two reasons: because she was who she was on the on the Cosby Show. She's just that she was it's just creepy, man. I'm sorry.
All right, so with that being said, if I can't keep Christina Applegate because of the fact that when she was on Married with Children started 17, can I add her because she was on other shows as she was a full-grown adult?
If you're gonna use her as a full-grown adult from another show, I mean, I guess so. We did it with Kim Fields, so if we do it with Kim Fields,
I
guess do it with her. Yeah, I mean, and technically we're doing it with what you call it too. No, we took Megan out. We was thinking about taking Megan out because she's more of a movie star. That's why we talking about.
And that's the other thing is that before I could start doing a season, some people, as the two of you guys said, they're more like Gabrielle Union,
Kerry Washington. But see, Kerry was such a significant character on that show. And that kind of helped. That show actually kind of made her career.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have a problem keeping Kerry in it.
She was just a blind girl from Fantastic Four.
Right, or the girl from Save the Last Dance. The
Yeah,
dude
yeah.
sister.
Django Unchained.
Right, Django Unchained,
Mr. and
but
Mrs. Smith. No, I
right,
mean she was in a
but
bunch. She was in a
she's
bunch
in
of
a bunch of
movies.
movies. But what I'm saying is that role made her
She
career.
was.
So
She
I
was
don't
the.
have a problem, right? I
She
don't have a
was the
problem
character.
keeping her in it because that made her career. There are other movie stars that, like you said,
And the
that could
same
have
thing goes
started
for
on
Gabrielle
television
Union.
that made her career. Huh?
And the same thing goes for Gabrielle Union. She was the lead of that show that she was on.
No, she was lead, but it didn't make her career though. She was already
No, but
a very known actress by the
but
time
she
she did
but
Being Mary Jane.
but
You
you
know what I mean? So that's
but
why
she,
I leave in my opinion, I leave Gabrielle as a movie star. I leave, even though Megan Good was the focus of that show she was on, but that didn't make her career. She is a movie
so
star.
it didn't make her career, but it put them both on more of a prime time spotlight
I mean,
outside
yeah, of
of the hood.
course it does, but it didn't.
I don't.
They were
No, it
already
doesn't.
established actors. Same thing with Rosario Dawson. Like they're all established movie star
With
actors.
them, but I'm saying, but being Mary Jane and Minority Report put them on. I'm just going to say it because I hate using the term white, but it put them on the white radar. It put
No,
them
it
on
did,
No, it didn't.
but
No, it doesn't.
but
No, it doesn't.
I just think that regardless of it putting them on that radar, I just feel like when I think Megan Good, when I think Gabrielle Union, I think movie star, not TV star. Even though they had success, they had nice TV runs, but I don't think TV star. I mean, I don't think movie star. Just like if I think Heather Locklear, I think TV star, not movie star. Even if she's in a movie, if I think if I hear Heather Locklear, if I hear Joan Collins, if I hear it, I think TV star because they made most of their things on TV, even though they might have made movies, and even if they made good movies, you know what I mean. So that's what I mean by that. Even I mean, hell, you can even make that argument for Tisha Campbell, but I feel Tisha Campbell, she made her career on TV.
Yeah.
That's why, even though she was in movies around the same time, maybe even before she was in TV, she was on movies. She was in movies because she was in House Party. She was in that before the Martin Show came out, and she was in, and she was also in School Days. That's a movie. She was in that before Martin came out. So like those were all, but she made her name on Martin. I mean, if you say Tisha Campbell, the first thing that comes to mind is Gina from Martin, right? That's the first thing. That's what I mean by movie star. You know what I'm saying?
No, but I get, but I get that. But at the same time, the other thing that I'm saying too is that with Gabrielle Union, a lot of another audience was really picked up on her. Even a black audience was picked up on her from the TV show.
But see, here's what I'm gonna say to that one, and it goes like what Wes just says. When you think of Tichina Arnold, if you take out Martin, what do you really think about for Tichina Arnold?
House Party.
House Party. All right. But even though she was already on television once before, because she was in a show called Rags and Riches, right?
Tichina Arnold wasn't in House Party.
Yeah. No, Tisha Campbell, not Tichina.
Oh, I thought you said
Tisha Campbell.
No, you said Tisha Campbell.
You said Tisha Campbell. You said. I thought you said
Tichina
Arnold.
No, Tisha Campbell.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But take that away. Which one solidified her name? Is it the role she played in House Party, or is it the role in Martin?
It was definitely the role in Martin.
Right. So when I think of Gabrielle Union,
actually, her role in School Days.
No,
that didn't define her career.
That didn't define her. It didn't define her
because if you played the word association game and you yelled out Tisha Campbell, 8 to 9 out of 10 people are gonna yell back Gina from Martin. That's supposed to that's the role that she is more known for everywhere. Period. So even though she started, she didn't start in movies. She was in TV too, but she was, we started noticing her in movies, right? But then she went back to TV, and that's where she kind of stayed, right?
Yeah.
So, that's I get it.
Because I looked at it the same way as like when we were talking about Michael J. Fox, and I remember you saying
Right.
he's more known for Back to the Future than all the years he was on Family Ties. So when you
Mhm.
hear Michael J. Fox, the first thing you think of is Marty McFly, not Alex
Yeah.
B. Keaton.
Not Alex B. Keaton, even though that was a great success for him, and it did put him on the map. Without Alex B. Keaton, we don't get Marty McFly. So you can go any way with that. But I'm just saying, I feel that the movie stars that legitimately have enough successful movies, and we know them as movie stars, you can go ahead. Just because they did some TV stuff, I'd say.
I honestly, I
take them
think
out.
if you're an actress, you're an actress. It doesn't matter whether it's TV or movies. But
We're doing
I get-
TV. We're doing TV actresses. That's the point. That's
that is
what
the
we're
point.
doing.
But if you did, but that is the point. But if you did TV, that still counts, regardless of whatever the rest of your
Yeah,
career.
but TV was not
But see,
defined
no,
your
no,
career.
Kev, I disagree with that. If you done 90 movies, but you did one TV series, no, that don't count because you got 90 movies back.
I thought the whole if you said a TV series, if you said one episode, then no, it doesn't count. That's just one episode. You showed
Even
up
a
as a
series,
cameo,
though.
whatever.
I mean, so if that's
But
the
if
case, we could put Angela Bassett in this. Angela Bassett is a movie star.
Yeah,
but she's been doing TV lately. But I wouldn't put her on this list. I'd save her for when we do the movie stars.
She's outside of the range, but you can't. But if she was in the range, I would say put her on there because she makes.
What do you mean she's outside? You mean she's outside range? She is right in the range. You certainly could add her for that show 9/11 that she's on. You certainly could add.
No, he means for the date.
Oh
yeah. She's in the 2020s with that show.
Yeah.
So that's outside. But I wouldn't. I don't care if she was in the range. I would not put her in this because we're going to do a movie one. And why would we come back with a whole bunch of the same people in the movie one?
Listen, if they were able to cross, if they were smart enough to use their career to cross between the two and take a chance with going to TV, especially back then, take a chance of going to TV and was successful and still able to go back to film, and they're fair game.
Yeah, there's people that crossed over, that have crossed over that legitimately crossed. I mean, like John Travolta started in TV. Right. He started in TV, but he's a movie star. He crossed over to movies. He's a movie star. But he was from Welcome Back, Kotter. So he started on TV, right? So I'm saying there's people that have it and has made the transition. But then there's people that just really their career, their stardom came from the platform of TV, of television. That's where they're known for, where they came from.
We will agree to disagree. I feel if
we have to agree to disagree, but I that's what I'm saying. I believe it's no point in having a movie version of it if we're gonna have half of the same people that we just had in the TV version. That's boring. That's
but it won't be half of it. It won't even be half.
It would be a lot though. If we start including all of these movie stars in it, it'd be a lot of them. There'd be a lot because so many of them have done both. Because, like you said, an actor's an actor. So many have done both. Let's just go with the people that are really known for TV, for their TV roles. That's why I feel it's the gray area people we could take out. My exception to the rule is what's her name? Kerry Washington, because that show made her career. That show made her career. Before that, she was in movies, but no one cared really who she played in those movies. Now they care because of that show.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Because I mean, just looking at my list, I mean, you have a bunch of people here that are on this list, like you mentioned, Heather Locklear, Jennifer Aniston, Pamela Anderson, Christian Bell, Kelly Coco, Jessica Alba. They've all done movies, but even with Jessica Alba, she played Sue Storm in Fantastic Four, but most people remember her from as what's the name from Dark Angel. There ain't no doubt about that one. So, but using what you're saying, that should she be automatically zapped off because she did
Jennifer
a movie?
Garner. Did you put Jennifer Garner?
Jennifer Garner, same
right. Jennifer
thing.
Garner's Alias. That's what she's known for, and she's done good movies, and she's been in movies. She was Elektra. She was this, but
That's
she's
my point.
Alias. But Alias is what
she's on there.
She's on the list because Alias is what really put her on the map.
But that's my point. But that's my point with Gabrielle Union. The same thing you said about Gabrielle Union.
But I think what the point is, if I turned around and did the same thing and said we're doing the 64 hottest movie stars, okay. When you say when you sit and say Gabrielle Union, right? You say Gabrielle Union, okay. Could you sit there? Would you put her above Halle Berry? Would you put her above Angela Bassett? And I'm
about to catch some hell. I don't know whether I should keep my mouth shut. I don't know whether I should keep my mouth shut or just, you know what? We'll agree.
Follow your gut. Keep your mouth shut.
But actually, what I'm saying is this was that if I was to put movie stars, Gabrielle Union, yes, I would certainly put Gabrielle Union into a final 64 of the best ever looking movie star, because I look at her as the movie star. Bad Boys 2, from Deliver Us from Eva, that's a movie star. But when I'm looking at television, even the role she plays on Being Mary Jane, like if I wanted to, like I could very easily replace her with Demetria McKinney from The House of Pain, very easily.
And let's not forget, Gabrielle. What was the movie that she was really? What was that movie in the cheerleader movie? People loved her.
Bring It On.
Bring It On. Stuff like that. Those are all movies, right? So but anyway, we're not going to get anywhere if we sit here and keep debating.
So if that's the case,
we still got to get to the seeding.
I started the seeding, but it's not finished because we had to decide this thing if we're going to yank Gabrielle Union and Kerry Washington out. So I'm looking like we're going to leave Kerry Washington.
We definitely said that Gabrielle Union. It was 4 people that was out: Gabrielle Union, Sophie Turner, Megan Good, and who's the other? And Christina Applegate.
I already accounted for
and Rosario Dawson.
Rosario Dawson.
She's a movie star.
All of them. Those 4. The only one that you guys said you wanted to think about was Gabrielle Union. Right. So if we're going to yank Gabrielle Union, we got to replace her.
I thought definitively that we had boxed her out. Because I remember, because we sort of.
So even if we didn't, let's do it now. So we get out there and then
going to officially, Gabrielle Union is out. Sorry, Gabby.
But what we'll do is we'll continue.
We replaced her with somebody that was on the list.
No, we did not replace Gabrielle Union. Like we replaced Megan Good.
I think you forgot to check it off, Ralph. Because I remember those 3, Megan Good, Rosario Dawson, and Gabrielle Union were the 3 that got crossed off. We kept Kerry Washington, and I forgot who
We'll continue this off the air because it's time to end the show. But we'll come back next week and we will have our seating together. Even if we have to get together throughout the week. And Ralph, if you send it to us or whatever the case may be, and we'll get the seating straight, and we'll start that next week. Thanks everybody for joining us. Joseph thank you. Welcome back. We missed you last time. Glad you're okay.
Good.
You know what I'm saying? Thanks for joining us as usual. Thank everybody that came into the chat room, and we'll catch y'all next week. Peace.